From the instruction that a florist should deliver a single red rose to a woman's doorstep for 9 years, to a man who wrote in his will that his body is to be left to science, but stipulated that his skin be tanned and used to make 2 drums. We take a look through 10 of the strangest things left in people's wills. Number 10. Rose of Love. The great U.S. comedian Jack Benny got married to his wife, Mary Livingstone, and they both lived together for 48 years before he died of cancer a day after Christmas in 1974. But even in death, he never forgot to tell her how much he loved her. Jack, in a bid to get the right message to the right person and at the right time, left in his will the instruction that a florist should deliver a single red rose to Mary's doorstep every day for the rest of her life. A wish that was upheld for the next 9 years that Mary lived. You can call that the Rose of Love. Number 9. The Hungry One. John Bowman seemed to be a man that believed so much in reincarnation, and last wishes were made in a quest to prepare for what he thought was a supernatural inevitability. Bowman died in 1891, and he was certain that he, his wife, and 2 daughters would reincarnate together. And he was certain that they would return to Hungary. So, in his will was $50,000 for the upkeep of his house, and that the servant should keep cooking every day in anticipation for their return. Number 8. The Halloween Man. Harry Houdini was a great magician and daredevil who died in 1926 on Halloween. Towards the tail of his life, Houdini had become obsessed by the idea of an afterlife and spiritual mediums. And he was so sure he would come back that he left in his will 10 random words to his wife. He wrote in his will that she should hold a seance every Halloween following his death, and that he would communicate with her through those 10 words. After his death, his wife held such seances for the next 10 years. Eventually, she stopped, since Houdini never even once communicated with her. Number 7. The Baby Rush. Charles Miller was a Canadian investor, and he died a childless bachelor in 1926. He was known for having a good sense of humor, and his will somewhat reflected a funny and creepy side of him. He stated in his will that his vacation house in Jamaica should be left to joint ownership of 3 people that he knew hated one another. But Miller's will is most famous for his final request, where he wrote that the cash value of his very large estate, $568,106, should be given to the woman who gave birth to the most children in the next decade that follows. And in 1938, 4 winners split the prize after giving birth to 9 babies each. Number 6. The Birthday Gift. Robert Stevenson was a great writer who was known for books like Treasure Island and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. His will was also a strange case. He left his friend Annie H. Ide his birthday date. Ide had confided in Stevenson about the troubles of being born on the same day with Jesus, aka Christmas. Stevenson, for his part, understood her frustration, so much in fact, that he gave her his own birthday when he died. The writer left her November 13th as a new birthday, but not without some clauses. Number 5. The Millionaire Dog. Leona Helmsley was a famous hotelier, and who was to even become more famous after her death. The Queen of Mean left a whopping $12 million to her Maltese, Trouble, while cutting 2 of her grandchildren out of her will completely. Her other 2 grandchildren didn't get off the hook entirely. Their inheritances were based upon their regular visits to their father's grave, where they would have to sign a registration book to prove they had shown up. Number 4. Smokes in the Air. Samuel Bratt was a man who loved to smoke his cigar quietly, but for some reason his wife never liked him smoking, and she found a way to stop him. Clearly an angry man on his deathbed, Bratt left a whopping sum of £330,000 for his wife when he died in 1960, but with the clause that she must smoke 5 cigars each passing day. I guess you can't blame the guy for just trying to level the playing field. Number 3. No Woman Love. Iowa attorney T.M. Zink, who died in 1930, had such a strong hatred for women that he left $35,000 in trust for 75 years, at the end of which time the money would have increased to $3 million, enough to found the Zink Womanless Library. He clearly stated in his will that no work of female authors or artists should be on display. He prohibited female patrons, and there should be no sign of feminine touch inside the library. And every door would bear a sign with the words, "No women allowed." The misogynist left his own daughter a meager sum of $5, and his wife was given nothing. Number 2. The Skin Drum. Solomon Sanborn was an American hat maker who died in 1871. He wrote in his will that his body is to be left to science, but stipulated that his skin be tanned and used to make 2 drums. The drums were to be given to one of his friends, a local drummer, on the condition that he promised to go to Bunker Hill at dawn every June 17th and drum out the beat to Yankee Doodle Dandy to celebrate the famous Revolutionary battle, and he wished the rest of him to be made into compost fertilizer. Number 1. The $1 Child. William Hearst was an American newspaper publisher who built the nation's finest newspaper chain and whose methods immensely influenced American journalism. After his death in 1951, and in accordance to the will he left behind, his roughly $60 million estate was broken into 3 trusts, one each for his widow, sons, and his Hearst Foundation for charitable purposes. Hearst's will, however, includes a $1 inheritance scheme to anyone who could prove that he or she was a biological son or daughter of him. So tell us, what would you leave in your will? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos every day.